an off-balance double clutch three to tie it at 74 with what, 4 seconds, 5 seconds left, only for Villanova to come down and hit a buzzer beating three to beat North Carolina in that game. What an amazing, amazing shot that was, and what an amazing, amazing tournament it has been. And to discuss all of that with me on the airwaves of Radio Azad, I've got my good buddy and a wonderful, wonderful mad man of March Madness, Manny from Kansas City. Welcome, buddy. How are you?
I'm still mad about my Jayhawks losing this tourney, but we'll try to get over that because we've had a great Final Four so far.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, the games. We'll get to the Final Four games yesterday. Yeah, the tournament has been crazy, crazy, but there have been so many crazy moments, and we're going to be discussing those later on. But let's talk about how we got here. Of course, the championship game is tomorrow night, and two deserved teams, two
Yeah.
deserving teams, right?
Wow.
They have earned their way
Yes.
in different manners, right? So the championship game is going to
Hmm.
be the Yukon Huskies versus the Michigan Wolverines.
Big Blue.
And as I said, they've earned their, each one of them has absolutely earned their spot, but they've
Oh
earned
yeah.
them in vastly different ways. Michigan has just
Dominant.
mowed through the
Yep.
opposition. And I'm not just talking about the Final Four. I mean, just like
Right.
what they've done in this tournament is a little insane. Not
Let me ask you something. Do you think this is the best Michigan team of all time? I see Fab Four sitting there, you know,
you
Chris
know,
Webber, But yeah, this team, man. They are excited there in Ann Arbor. I mean, we talking. You haven't seen. I mean, and Michigan does not have the kind of record in championship games like UConn does, which is 6-0. When they get to the
yes,
championship, they're winning it. Michigan is, I believe, 1-5. I
they
mean, that's horrible, man. And it's so, as a Jayhawk who we've also lost like 4 or 5 championships, it's very tough to get to the championship and then lose it because no one remembers who lost. They remember who won that year.
I mean,
Um,
the only one folks remember losing is the aforementioned Fab Five because of
yeah,
the mental lapse,
yeah.
the timeout flub that Weber had.
Which I think kind of happened to Duke as well in this game that UConn, and we're going to talk about that shot and
Oh
hopefully
yeah,
the top five buzzer beaters of NCAA history as well.
man,
I mean,
that's such a tall task. Yes, we're gonna try to narrow it down, try to
awesome.
condense it down to top five. But that's such a, as you
Yes.
saw, you're hearing in the back all these buzzer beaters. Just there have been so many. That's why March
Yeah.
Madness is king. We talk about
Telling
the
you.
NFL being king for a
Hmm.
season. That's absolutely, for a sport, absolutely.
But for
Because
2 weeks, it's definitely
oh
nothing beats basketball. I mean, maybe anything comes closer is the second round of the World Cup football soccer. That also is that same way for me, and parts
yeah.
of the matches in cricket. But nothing like the buzzer beaters, man. It's just such a. I was watching that game with with UConn at Duke, at my son's house, and you should have heard me yell when that
You
shot
get
went
caught
in.
up in it,
Well,
right?
I stood up and I heard from the other room him yelling, "Dad, you please not do that." And I was like, "This is basketball, man. This is what you love." It just made
Absolutely.
my day, that shot, and I'm telling you, that's payback for all what the Dukies did to poor Kentucky in that amazing game with where and we'll talk about that pass and shot from. But that's the beauty of
Yes.
basketball, man. I don't think there's any sport, especially this tournament, that captures it. Not the NBA Finals. No, nothing gets just so unpredictable as that shot by Braylon Mullins, a local kid, out of Indiana, that went to UConn, and now they're in the final. I mean,
You
how
know,
exciting!
I was gonna talk about that later, but let's
Sure.
get to that. Let's
Okay.
get to that shot. Of course, an insanely good
Well,
game there, right?
yes.
73-72, highly
And never
competitive.
give up, like Jim Valvano said. Those kids, man, from UConn. Dan Hurley has a team that's never giving up. And yeah,
They were
you would
down
have never thought that Duke was going to lose that game, being up by 19
they were
points. I
down
mean,
19 in the first half, man.
crazy.
That's you know So I'm going to get a little philosophical here, but this is what you have to do. This is what you have to coach. This is what you have to teach at a young age, right?
Yeah.
I've talked about when I was coaching my daughter's sports teams, softball, volleyball.
Hmm.
Um, I always taught the kids that. Our big thing was I would ask them, in practice every day so that I never had to ask them during a game, what is the most important play of the game? The answer is very simple: display. Display. Display is always the most important play of the game, right? The one that's in front of you, because that's
Yeah.
all you can control. That is
Right.
all that's under your control. You forget about what has happened. You forget about what is to come. You forget about the scoreboard. You forget about everything. You play the play that's in front of you to the best of your abilities. And that's what those Yukon Huskies, those kids did. That's what, you talked about that shot
Yeah.
by Leitner. Who passed him the ball?
Grant Hill, right?
Oh, that's right. It wasn't Hurley. I was going to make the Hurley connection, but yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah.
that 90 foot pass was
Which
Grant
again,
Hill,
that's a
and he was a
very
freshman.
amazing. Yeah.
Yes,
And,
yes, yes. Sorry, it wasn't Hurley. I was going to make the Hurley connection that Hurley was involved. The elder
and it
Hurley
would be
was
different
involved in
Hurley
that.
too. That was
Yeah.
Bobby Hurley, I
Yes.
believe.
Yeah. The
But
elder Hurley
but
was on that
yeah,
team, and the younger
that's right.
Hurley now has his Yukon Huskies on the
Mhm.
precipice of getting their third
That's
championship in
crazy,
what, like
man.
5 years?
Dude, I'm telling you, he was gonna do tie Jim Calhoun's 25 whatever years at Connecticut, the legendary coach in just 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't want UConn to win. Let me just go ahead and say it as a member of the blue blood dynasty of college basketball as the Jayhawks. We don't want more rings for Carolina or Kentucky or Duke. We want Michigan to win because we don't need someone to have as many as us, and we're not even having as many as I told you.
Not
We
as
lost
not as many as
5 rings,
Kentucky.
man.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, by the way, Coach Self is coming back one more year, and we've got the number one recruit coming. So sorry, I had to do a little tag for my Jayhawk Nation,
Hey,
but
always.
there's always next year.
Yeah.
And
No,
we
no, no.
don't rebuild, baby. We reload. So we're reloaded next year, and let's see what happens. But for this year, I mean, just the upset by Arizona, I really did not expect Michigan to just dominate like that. So I do think this particular team, if they win a championship, they'll do something Fab Five that Michigan never did. So, but between the game between Connecticut and Michigan, man, I think Michigan has, just proven to be so dominant. But Connecticut has just always found a way to win.
They
So
find
never
a
give
way.
up.
Yeah.
And
No,
we
they
just
do. Yes, we were talking about Michigan's dominance, just the run that they've had,
wow,
haven't really faced much of an opposition,
right?
right? I They beat Arizona 91
Handily,
73, and it
yeah,
actually wasn't that
that's
close.
close.
Like, it just felt like after the first 8 minutes,
Yeah,
it was Michigan's game. And as
man,
much as Arizona tried, they just never could put much of a dent in that lead. I mean, they had a 20-point lead, 18, 19, 20 point
yeah,
lead by the half, and just kind of cruised. I mean, cruising to a team like,
yeah,
we've talked about how dominating Arizona
right.
was with their guard play, with their front
They had
court play,
everything. Yeah.
um,
It
with
was
their
just
with
a
their
complete
dominance on the
shutdown of that
offense,
team. Yeah.
and it just, I mean, Michigan hung 91 on them, and that's
Listen,
after coasting for almost 30 minutes of the game.
yeah, basically they stopped them from getting into the paint, and I mean their interior guys really stepped it up. And like I said, Arizona's a stacked team. I expected them to win the championship this year. They were the clear winner for me. I thought they were that dominant, but yeah, hats off to Michigan, man. This team may be the team of destiny get a second championship at that amazing school up there ever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Connecticut dominant in. And did you see, by the way, a little quick question for you? I mean, the game in the women's side where
Oh,
South
we're about to
Carolina.
get over there.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
good.
we're about to get over there. Look,
All right.
UConn, no doubt. Actually, let's go ahead. Good segue.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
so UConn is dominant on both sides. Obviously, much more dominant on the female side. On the
I
women's
mean,
side,
legendary.
uh,
Yeah, Gino.
Gino has just absolutely dominated. But I think in that one moment, and not a moment, in that whole game, because he
Yeah.
did this throughout the game,
Right.
he's burnt so much of his credibility.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back and apologized the day after, but man, the damage
Sure.
is done.
Yep.
Because you know,
You can't be a poor sport, man. Come on.
yeah, not sustained like that throughout the game. Like he was complaining to the refs about Staley. He was rude to Staley directly. He's talking to the refs about, like, when Staley is having a conversation with the refs, he's jumping in saying, "Are you going to let her talk to you like that?" And then
Right.
for him to come back and do this ridiculous that she
Yeah.
gets more leeway than he does. I mean,
Please.
everything, and then not shaking hands. Like this wasn't
Look,
a
anytime someone doesn't shake hands, Rizwan, whether it's after a match or at an interview or in pub, just in general, that is the biggest sign of disrespect to me. Like if I extend my hand to you, you don't want to take it. Okay, now it's war.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a problem with you, but now I do not like you, and that's trouble for you.
Yep, absolutely. And most importantly, as you said, we call it sport for a reason, because
Yeah.
it's about competing. It's about competing hard
With integrity, with heart,
with
and with
integrity.
honor, and justice. You can't be cheating. You can't. It has to. It's fair play, man. It's fair
Yeah.
play.
Fair play and treat your opponents with
Absolutely.
respect. And
So
Gino,
he's wrong about
absolutely.
this, and you're absolutely right. I think he's a legendary coach. I mean, he's up there with John Wooden, right, of women's basketball. But you can't be like that. And for Coach Staley in a championship tomorrow, I mean, she's up and coming, right? Who knows if she is there 10, 15, 20 years? She could get to Gino's level. But I'm
Man.
excited for the Gamecocks, Lady Gamecocks. This is a great. They're a dynasty of their own in a way under her.
What she's been doing there for the last how long has she been there? 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
But South Carolina
Short
has
time.
been dominant even before that.
Man.
Did I ever tell you? So the you blue bloods, fans of KU, you don't have to pinpoint to a specific point in time when your team was good. But MSU women's basketball had their time around 2015, 16, 17, 18.
Okay.
They made a run. So the Final Four, I want to say this was in 2017 or 18.
Mhm.
Kids were pretty young. I think the younger one
Mhm.
was about 7 or 8 years old. They were here. The Lady Bulldogs made it to the Final
Oh.
Four. That was the year. That was the year they defeated UConn.
Oh wow.
They defeated UConn in the Final Four,
Man.
and they were playing in the championship game against South Carolina right here at the AAC. So that's the largest splurge on tickets I've ever done. I bought myself 3 tickets. I took the
Yeah.
girls. I've raised them, at least one of them to be an athlete, raised both of them to be fans of MSU.
Right.
That's one of the things we do as
Mhm.
parents, is pass along
Nice.
our biases to our kids, right?
Of course. Sadly, mine is not as big a Jayhawk fan as he just doesn't like sports.
Doesn't like
Sadly,
sport.
my son, but my daughter is going to be different. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm glad you
So,
have that with you.
yeah, bought those tickets, went there, and of course, South Carolina absolutely demolished us in that championship game.
Yep.
But so they've got some championships under their belt. Staley's got some
For sure.
championships under her belt. South Carolina has been a dominant
Yep.
team on the women's side, and I don't see this going much differently. But UCLA is a solid team, has had a really
And-
good run, and what
Yes.
they did to Texas in that other Final
Oh,
Four
man.
game, stifling them,
Crazy.
holding them to 44. Now they themselves were only held to 51, and
Yeah.
South Carolina, obviously, you saw what they did to
Mhm.
a machine in UConn.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a defensive game, but I see South Carolina kind
I
of
mean,
taking hold in the second half and
Yeah.
winning by 10, 12, maybe as much as 15 points.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be that much of a win. I think it's going to be a close game. I think UCLA just has a they have obviously all those accolades from the men's championship days. So this is uh, not a women's dynasty yet, but they've had an amazing run. It would be great if they could beat South Carolina. But I think you're right. South Carolina, I see them winning, and it's going to be exciting, man. They're both the championships. Who do you have in the one that we will be having tomorrow? So
All
let's
right.
yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. I just don't see. I'm forgetting about the regular season. That's
Yeah,
out the door, right? I'm looking
right.
at what these teams are doing in the tournament, and
Yeah.
I just don't see how UConn beats Michigan. Now,
Okay.
I think the same was said with that Duke game, right?
Yeah.
And all the pundits were probably feeling pretty good about themselves in the first
Right.
15 minutes of that first half.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
Did you see the
UConn,
reaction by Grant Hill, by the way, when he was calling that game? I just saw some clip of that. When you get a chance, Rizwan, go look at
okay,
that college game because he was at that game and him and his partner's reaction is just because he was part of that magical moment, right, with Leitner making that pass. So
yeah.
he's so shocked by that shot. And what I mean, look, that was again from the logo almost.
It,
Braylon Mullins, I mean,
so
freshman, he's wow, what a shot.
here's what stood out. We're going back to that game. Here's what stood out to me, and this is where I was headed. I'm gonna tie it back
Mhm.
to the prediction about the game tomorrow, right?
Sure.
So they had the free throws. They're down 3. They have the free throws. Um, and what was it? I think they got within 1, and then he missed the free throw, right? He misses the
Yeah.
no, he misses the first. That's what it was. He misses the
Right.
first. So the lazy way to go about it is, hey, we're the best I can do is um get within 2. So do I or sorry, get within 1. Yeah, and I'm forgetting how it went, but I think he misses the first, but he makes the second, and then they D up. They didn't try to do an intentional miss and try to get a rebound and score off the rebound, right? They were like, we believe in our press, we believe in our defense. So to have that mental state, to have that mental toughness to say, you know what, we're going to do the right thing. We're not going to do what needs to be done right now. We're going to do the right thing. And they get within 2, they D up, they get the ball, they get the turnover. I mean, that turnover,
Yeah, that's what
Boozer
I was
was
thinking about. Like he
trying
should
to
have just
throw it
held the
over.
ball. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like a momentary lapse, right?
Yep.
It's just like what happened with Chris Webber years ago. You just like it's pressure. It's the pressure of the last few seconds,
Yep.
and you just yeah.
And UConn
I mean,
showed over and over that they were
yeah,
built for that pressure. So first,
mm,
getting that turnover, and
yeah,
then I'm forgetting the kid's name, but the kid who got the ball,
yeah.
he
He
could have
passed
jacked up
it,
a 3. He could have
right?
jacked up a 3. He's not a
No, he
3-point
passed it.
shooter. He
You're right.
passes it with the
Yep.
clock ticking,
Mm.
ticking, ticking. He
It's
passes
just
it.
remarkable.
Yeah. So
Honestly,
to have that mental awareness of all of that in that moment,
meanwhile,
that
the seconds are ticking down. I mean, this is like movies, man. It's just
yeah,
it'll stay in my head forever, like at least the next 5 years. That
absolutely.
shot.
And
Uh,
so because of that, I said I was going to tie it back. Looking at the whole tournament and the dominance, I just don't see how UConn beats Michigan. But
mm,
what UConn has done, the awareness of the moment, the making the right
yeah,
play that is required in the moment, I think UConn has a not just a chance, but a strong chance. So
they do, but listen, I think they just spent all that magic right there just to get to the championship. I don't see that kind of luck being on someone's side multiple times like that. So I am gonna give it to Michigan. They're playing remarkable, and they're. But hey. I think, like I said, if somehow Coach Hurley's team wins another championship,
Oh,
my
he's
gosh, I'll never
look,
hear the end of it.
the NBA teams are going to be breaking down his door if he wins
Yeah,
a third one, because right, I mean,
right.
he's not an established person like a
You
Dean
don't stay
Smith,
after that, because how do you
Krzyzewski.
top that?
Yeah.
You just say, okay, I'm going to go out on top. I'm going to go enjoy the NBA. You're right.
Yep. And this is kind of what happened. And now, word of caution, right? This is kind of what happened with Patino all those years ago,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
he went to the Celtics and it didn't
Mhm.
work out. He came back. Kudos to him for realizing within 2.5 years that this isn't working out. This is a
Right.
whole different ball game, and I'm going to go
It
back
is.
to where I excel, where my strength is. Right? That there's a talent, not just in sports, in life in general, right? Of knowing and recognizing and admitting to yourself your limitations. Not
Right.
everyone is great at everything.
True.
So kudos to, there are so many coaches that have tried going that route and flamed out, right? But
Yeah.
kudos to Patino, kudos to Coach Cal. He did the same thing, right? He went and coached the Nets for a couple of years and was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my strength. I know what I'm doing in the college game. I'm going to go back, and he's been successful. And so kudos to those two coaches. They had great runs here,
Mhm.
but man, Michigan is just mowing through the opposition here.
They are.
I
Let me ask you real quick before I forget. Who do you have as far as like the top 5, or even just the top couple buzzer beaters? For me, this Braylon Mulls shot, man, it now has to make it in the top 5. But number one for me, I think all time has to be that Cinderella run that NC State Wolfpack, which Coach
Jimmy
Valvano had
V.
over the 5 Slamma Jamma of Hakeem and Drexler. Man, that team was just unstoppable, and the way that shot went in at the buzzer beater that was going to be short, and Lorenzo Charles, just picks it up and puts it in with the buzzer.
Well,
To me, that will never be beaten because it's in a championship game and you're beating such a heavy favorite
that's
to
the
win
thing.
it all, right?
You were a
So,
16-point underdog or whatever
man,
it was.
right.
You had a remarkable Cinderella run just to
Drexler
get
was
there.
like jumping over people, man. Instead of he was so smooth. Clyde the Glide and Hakeem Olajuwon.
That
And
team
I mean,
had Hakeem, Clyde, and Sleepy Floyd.
right.
All
They should have won a championship. I just feel sad for them, but Coach Valvano and those boys, man. I saw the 30 of 30 on that. Watch it. It'll
uh-huh.
make you cry, man, because you're watching because Valvano's not here anymore in
Yeah.
his team. But I don't think anyone is gonna top that. I see you, Leitner. I see you guys. That was an amazing shot over the Wildcats. And thankful to Connecticut winning that one. But
Yeah.
that's what March Madness is about, man. I'm
Oh,
really,
absolutely. And the thing is, these moments last, right? When we talk about, the Mavs had on Monday night, the Mavericks here had a South
yeah.
Asian
Did you
night.
get your free throw?
I
on South
actually
Asian night?
skipped out on the free throw because
Oh
there
my
were
God.
about 2,000 people.
Oh wow.
I mean, it was a massive success. So first off, kudos to the
Nice.
Mavs organization. Kudos to our South Asian diaspora
Right.
who showed up, bought the tickets, bought the packages, wanted the experience. But yes, I ended up going there with one of my big brothers, and we were
Okay.
sitting there with the so we were sitting there, enjoying the game. It was a lot of fun, and we were talking about. It's funny you mentioned Leitner. We started talking about young kids. Obviously Cooper Flagg was there, and we were discussing. That led to Duke. That led to Duke's all-time stuff, and of course the Leitner conversation came up. And my brother says, "Man, that was a long time ago. That was almost like 40 years ago." I was like, "No, it wasn't." And then I started thinking about it. Wait a second. That was 1991 or 92.
Oh my
So
gosh.
34 years. Okay, not
Don't say
40
that,
years.
man. That's crazy.
We were babies. Let's just say we were babies. We're
Let's
not
just
going to
say
talk
that
about how
instead
old
of
we
saying
were.
we're old.
Yeah.
Let's just say we were.
But man,
Nice.
what a
Nice
wild
packaging.
Yeah, what a wild ride it's been. What a great life
Yes.
it's been. I'm so thankful, so fortunate to have had the life that it sounds like an obituary. Uh, but it's been a great time. But time
It's been
flies,
blessed.
man. Time flies.
Fly.
So it is important. It is very important to enjoy the moment when you have it, because time does fly.
Enjoy the
And
moment and just watch out for this play.
watch out for this play. All right. Well, that brings us to this moment, which is a break. We're going to take a break. Manny, hang tight. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my damnedest to try to merge you in with Shep when he calls in. He's going to call in a couple of minutes, and we'll have both
Okay.
of y'all on the air, and we're going to get into the top 5 buzzer beaters of all time. We're going to get into the a couple of other really important topics having to do with madness, and then we'll wrap that up around 11:30, and then move the spotlight over onto other areas of the sports world, because that's what we do here. We shine the spotlight on all aspects of the sport. You're listening to the Sports Spotlight right here on Radio Azad on our new home. Did you know, Manny?
Yes, I'm very excited.
107.9 HD4 FM, baby, right here in the
Already
DFW
got
area.
it set. Already got it set on my
All
car.
right. Okay. All right. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more Sports Spotlight right here on Radio Azad.
This is Radio Azad, where your voice matters. Streaming in Dallas, Fort Worth, and all around the world.
आप सुन रहे हैं रेडियो आजाद हम सफर हमजाद रेडियो आजाद